I'm just trying to delete something that's come up on the screen. Aha, it's working. So, I'm walking the dogs. Here they are, Ella and Princess. Ella is 8 and Princess is the mum, and she is 14. So I'm in southwest UK. It's actually just gone a bit nice. It hasn't been very good weather today, but it's gone nice in the last half hour. I've just been shopping to my local supermarket. I thought I'd just talk to you guys about my latest video today. My dogs are pulling me back, but it's all to do when Elvis joined the army. And Elvis, I didn't know this. Wipe my nose, right? Elvis, I didn't know this, but registered for the draft in America when he was just 18 years old. So he obviously wanted to join the army, never knowing he was going to become famous. And we know that Elvis really loved his country and actually would have been very proud and was proud to serve his country, and had strong views about America and gun laws. Come on. But it was a massive shock to him when his draft came through, calling him up. I think that was in December of 1957. Come on, dogs keep pulling me back. And he actually wasn't sure what to do because he had just gone through some... God. Right, come on. Sorry, guys. One second. I'm going to have to put you in my pocket a second. Okay, sorry about that. Live streaming. So he was in a dilemma because obviously we all know about his massive shoot to fame around 1955, where he came from nowhere, and all because he popped into Sun Studios and Sam Phillips and his secretary discovered him, and they played the record locally. And from that very small, humble beginning, he became world famous. Never expecting to be drafted, I don't think. And then what had happened, and this is shown in the movie, the Elvis movie, there was a lot of bad feeling. That Elvis was a bad influence on teenagers, and the way he moved and shook his body and his legs was the devil. So there was this massive overreaction from the grown-ups. A lot of problems. So Colonel Tom Parker felt that that Elvis being drafted was an opportunity to change Elvis's image from this rock and roll rebel, this rockabilly, and make him family friendly, children friendly, and more acceptable to an older audience, and to try and calm down the authorities who just wanted to arrest him. And in all the newspapers, they were seriously running him down and calling him names. So this was the opportunity to join the army and win some respect, and then come out of the army as a new person with a new image and a new style. And the Colonel Tom Parker kept his songs being released for 18 months. Obviously, there's a whole nother story here where he meets Priscilla in Germany. And some of his family and some of the Memphis Mafia lived with him in Germany. But that's a separate story. Elvis wanted to be treated like all the others. He didn't want to have special treatment. He just wanted to be a regular army guy. Even though he did eventually become a sergeant. And he enjoyed the maneuvers, but did find them tough. But he was one of the boys. And it's well known that Nancy Sinatra met him when he was coming out of the army, because it had all been pre-planned that he would do the Frank Sinatra Welcome Home Elvis special. And he eventually became good friends with Frank Sinatra, even though there had been some bad feeling. And Frank Sinatra didn't like rock and roll music either, thought it was a bad influence. But they actually eventually become friends. They did have a few issues because of Juliet Prowse, because she was his co-star in GI Blues. And don't forget, and don't forget, so he had planned to do the Frank Sinatra special, then to go to RCA Victor Records and record some albums in April of 1960. I'm trying to remember the name of the album. I think it was Welcome Home Elvis, which was a massive hit. And obviously he also was going to make the film GI Blues, which I think was perfect for coming out of the army. And every song on that album was a big hit, and that album was an even bigger hit than the Welcome Home album. So Elvis takes this train journey, and there's fans all the way along the route of the train journey waiting to greet him. He's very smart. He gets interviewed quite a few times. He gets interviewed many times just as he's coming out of the army. And he's got everything planned out. And I think in that year, he definitely made 2 movies. Was it Flaming Star after GI Blue? I'm not sure. You guys can put me right on that. And Elvis was on a high because he had been very insecure about his future, whether or not he would be remembered, which we laugh at now, because he was really missed. Elvis was. People couldn't wait for him to come out of the army. I think the whole idea of him entering the army was a brilliant idea, and I think he was really proud to have served for the American army. My dogs now. Where are they? All right, guys. They seem happy enough. Dad's walking them. They love it when I walk them. So, 61, 62, he's still making more movies. I think he made 2 movies in 62. And then eventually in 63, was making 3 movies a year. Could you believe that? And we know that he was getting a phenomenal deal. $1 million a movie, and on some of the movies he was getting 50% royalties. Can you imagine that? I think that's unheard of now. So I'm going to change my arm because my arm's aching. Right, sorry guys. Sorry about the wobbliness and my hands now. How am I going to do this? Right, you got my hand in the corner, but that's better than it was, just till my arm stops aching. And I actually think during this period, Elvis was fine. Yes, I think whilst he was in the army, he had started taking more of these uppers to keep him awake on the maneuvers. That's better. And so some say that it was the army that caused him to get addicted to prescribed tablets. But I think even pre-army, in the 50s, in the rock and roll years, I think taking uppers, and I think they're called blues, and things to put you to help you party was quite common in the 50s. Tell me if I'm wrong. And the big massive thing that Elvis, I don't think, ever thought was going to happen was when he lived in Germany, meeting Priscilla, and just the massive impact meeting Priscilla was not only going to have on his life, but also on his death, because Priscilla has played a massive part in what happened to the legacy of Elvis after he died, obviously concerning Graceland. And I know you guys have very, very strong issues. And quite a lot of you are very upset with Priscilla for many, many reasons, financial reasons, many things to do with Lisa Marie Presley. And many of you talk to me about the book Child Bride. But I also know there's many of you Elvis fans that really like Priscilla and really feel that she has kept his memory alive and that they had a beautiful romance. So there's so many opinions on Elvis meeting Priscilla, and obviously there's some quite negative opinions about her age. But I've heard that in the 50s, to marry a girl young and innocent was pretty normal, and for a man to marry a younger girl in the 1950s was actually completely normal. I know things are different now. So I just find this whole period from Elvis being drafted into the army and then coming back and reinventing himself, which then led to the movies, which I know people have got many strong views about because they feel that he could have done so much better and played in many more dramatic roles than the ones he did. And obviously he was very good in some of them, like King Creole, Love Me Tender. And I do think 4 or 5 of the movies were actually very good. And I love watching the movies because I get to see Elvis Presley when he was young and youthful and happy and confident and charming and charismatic. So I love all the movies. I actually think Elvis could have been an amazing actor. I really do. I think Elvis had it all. And he did get opportunities, but he just didn't follow them through. And there's so many reasons why Elvis didn't follow the opportunities through. And I don't think it's just because of the Colonel. I think there was many more reasons. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go. Hope you didn't mind my camera waving around in the air. And the sun's come out, so I'm going to enjoy this bit of sunshine. You take care, guys. Thanks a lot and have a great day.